Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, taped live at Twitch and brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watched a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling, and I believe more than anything in the power of friendship. Let's fucking go.
Yep, because we are back in Lucha Underground, where friendship won the day last time we were here.
Lucha Underground, whose subtitle is famously "Friendship is Magic."
Yep, that's it. That's true.
This is true. Many people are saying it.
Yep. Power of friendship, truly.
Anywho.
But yeah, we are continuing our journey along season 1 of Lucha Underground. Last time we watched episodes 23 and 24, which were hugely devoted to the Trios Tag Team Tournament that to decide the first ever Trios Tag Team Champions.
Yes, and how fucking magical was that conclusion? I am so happy. As I pointed out last time, I keep having to eat a whole bunch of fucking humble pie on this show for every time I have very wrong opinions. But oh boy, am I so happy that Angelico, Ivelisse, and especially Son of Havoc are holding that gold, baby.
It's true. They are your champions. It's great. They learned the power of friendship along the way, even though they were put together because they were expected to fall apart.
Havoc and Ivelisse were able to overcome their, very awkward breakup feelings. Good on them. You'll love to see it. And Angelico is just like, hi, I'm Angelico.
Yeah. Son of Havoc and Angelico got over the fact that Angelico wanted to fuck Son of Havoc's girlfriend, and he was like, hey, what the fuck, man? Why?
Yeah.
Why you do that?
I still don't entirely get why Angelico was trying to get with Ivelisse. I feel like if you saw Ivelisse for more than 2 seconds for any amount of time she spent on screen before that final match where they won the belts, it would just be so full of red flags that it would look like some mega fucking bullfighting tournament, okay? It would not... I don't understand why anyone would want to get with Ivelisse just based on what we've seen of her so far, but I guess you do you.
Well, buddy. You ain't got to date her to have sex with her, so...
Yeah, but even then, I feel like it'd be a lot, and like, I don't know. I get everyone is different types, but I don't know if the screams at you at the slightest inconvenience type is just good for anything, you know? Not personally my cup of tea. I don't know.
Oh, well. Doesn't matter because it's all water under the bridge.
Yay.
And the champions now.
Yes. I cannot wait to see where this goes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, other stories that went on last time is we had the culmination of the Drago Aerostar Best of 5. Dario Cueto giving his fancy speeches to them in dramatic locations.
Thematically appropriate locations, and also casually mentioning that the first time he talked to Drago was coming out of the pisser.
Yep. Because he's a weirdo. Because he's that kind of dude in the public bathroom who strikes up conversations.
He's very... It's like that meme of... I can't remember. I want to say it's that one text post of that dude being like, yeah, one time I was standing next to... I think it was Shock at a urinal. And I looked over and tried to, get a glimpse because I was curious. And Shaq looks back at me and is like, yeah, it's fucking wild. Like, big dude, normal dick. Like... I feel like Dario's the kind of guy who is more than happy to comment on the state of his cock to just whatever random passerby happens to be unfortunate enough to cross his path.
That checks out, yes. But, Drago and Aerostar, they have the match. Drago wins. They're able to remain friends through it all. Yeah. And then he gets his unique opportunity, which is going to come to play tonight. His unique opportunity is that he gets a chance at the Lucha Underground Championship. Hooray! But if he loses, he's banned forever.
So tonight we will find out if Drago touched the butt.
Sure.
Yes. There's always a butt. There's always a butt.
Always a butt.
Always, always. Man, Dario Cueto, he sure loves butts.
Mm-hmm.
Can that be the episode title? Dario Cueto loves butts.
Sure.
Yay! I'm sorry.
Anyway, then we had Pentagon Jr. finally doing something detestable enough to make the crowd boo him.
Yes.
Where he attempted to break Melissa Santos's arm, who is not a wrestler, merely the ring announcer.
True.
But Sexy Star came to save the day, and Pentagon Jr. was like, the fuck? Why did you do that?
Which like, I really don't understand his confusion. Like, you know, they've been beefing a little bit, and also he a bad guy, she a good guy. It's kind of her job. I don't know why you didn't expect this man. You know, just have realistic standards.
Yeah.
Penta.
Then they have a match, and Sexy Star won.
Yes.
But and I'm sure Pentagon will take that lying down and just move on to something else.
Style and Grace, the two middle names of Pentagon Jr. Actually, that's true.
That's true. Then we had the continuing beef between Johnny Mundo and Alberto El Patron.
Yeah, things got real spinny.
Yeah, they did. El Patron kept needling Mundo, and the cameraman was just like, I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
Oh, that's not that one's not gonna get old.
No, it's not.
Yay.
Prequel memes are never not funny.
Totally.
Yep.
But yeah, I do love the sudden rivalry between Mundo and Patron. I just hope it has more meat on its bones than Mundo or than Patron Tejano, because that was weirdly dry.
I agree. That wasn't great.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tejano has his own problems these days. Mm-hmm. At the hands of Daivari.
Oh, yes.
Who has appeared at the temple now. He was a fan, just drinking his alcohol, I guess.
Very nonchalantly. He wasn't at all an obvious plant who would obviously be getting in on the show very soon. Obviously. Of
course not.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But then Tejano was knocked into him during the Trios Championship match, and he didn't take kindly to that, so he started kicking Tejano's ass.
Yes. Yeah. You know, as you do.
Yeah.
I mean, we do love watching Tejano's ass get kicked.
Mm-hmm. So we should see some follow up to that.
Yeah, hopefully.
And then we have integrated Black Lotus back into the show.
Fucking finally.
She had her training montage, and her El Dragon Azteca, her new mentor, keeps telling her she's too angry to face Matanza, and she's like, actually, I'm the correct amount of angry.
Actually, fuck you. I feel like telling her that she's too angry is a surefire way to just get her more angry.
Probably.
I'm slightly worried that Dragon Azteca's whole sensei MO here is gonna backfire a little bit.
I don't have high hopes for him.
I'm slightly concerned that he's not reading the writing on the wall here. But sure, this Dragon Azteca knows everything, I guess.
Sure. But so she's training, and Dragon Azteca doesn't think she's ready yet, but who knows? She may be coming closer to being ready soon, and then she can confront the man who murdered her parents.
Yes. The motherfucker in the cage.
Yep.
But not the Brian Cage.
Nah, he's hanging around with Cuerno and Tejano, and who knows if they're gonna keep that up.
The Legion of
like a fun idea. the Legion of Supervillains. Hopefully they keep that up for a little while longer, but who knows?
I have a horrible suspicion that they will, and it's going to spell trouble for everybody.
Yep. So that's all the big plot beats from the last 2 episodes, and now we will move on tonight to watch episodes 25 and 26, which, as I mentioned just a minute ago, is the big thing that is advertised and we can talk about in the front half, is that we are going to have Drago versus Prince Puma for the Lucha Underground Championship tonight.
Yeah, boy, let's fucking do it.
Mm-hmm. So if you would like to watch along Lucha Underground with us, we're watching, again, Season 1, Episodes 25 and 26. You can do so on Tubi.tv. TubiTV.com. Damn it, I do that every time because I want it to be a .tv.
It feels like it should be a .tv.
It does feel like that. Anyway, Tubi TV is basically a streaming service. It is similarly structured like Netflix, but it is free with ads. So all you have to do is make an account. It's American only, by the way, I believe. You make an account, and you will have access to Lucha Underground, the whole series, all 4 seasons of it, with ads.
Do it. Do it. It's good shit. Fucking do it.
It's very good shit. But then we will be back in the back half to talk about season 1x25 and 26.
Later.
And we are back. We have just finished season 1, episodes 25 and 26 of Lucha Underground.
Yeah, baby. A lot of crazy shit happened this time around. I mean, it always does on Lucha, but them stakes be ramping up in many different interesting ways.
They are. It's pretty wild. A lot of stuff happened on these episodes for sure.
Yeah, I really, overall, like, I've raved and raved and raved and raved and raved about how goddamn much I love Lucha Underground on this show. I quite enjoy it. I really feel like at this point it's hit a stride that's just everything they've got going is pure goodness, and they've got a zillion things going on at once, and every single one of them feels fresh and exciting and really engaging. It like up until a certain point, up until I don't even know kind of when this stride was fully hit, but at least kind of how it felt to me in some of the earlier episodes was that they had a lot of great stuff going. The fighting was phenomenal. They were still working on how to pace out these storylines that felt like they had a lot of momentum, and they had a lot of kind of these very central focus storylines, and they were kind of the big things that happened, and all the rest were just kind of random shit that happened in between. Here, it really feels like they have enough going on that we're just able to jump from one thing to the next, and each one, the jump is well timed to keep us engaged, and each thing they have going on is super exciting.
I would totally agree. I think absolutely hitting a stride is exactly how I would put it. Like, everything is just kind of hitting right now, and
yeah,
that's really awesome to get to relive that. Because this is about when I got back on this train. Is late season 1 is when I first kind of got on the Lucha Underground train as it aired.
Yeah, and like again, I can't even fully articulate the difference between early season 1 and late season 1 because again, early season 1 was freaking phenomenal. I love so much of what happened in early season 1. There's just this je ne sais quoi that now it feels like everything's really firing on all cylinders. I can't even fully express why, other than it just feels exciting.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the best thing I can guess is now everything is pretty well established, and it's where we're doing a lot less of like establishing new people, even though we're still doing that.
Yeah.
But it feels like we're really progressing storylines and story arcs forward for characters that we're already familiar with now.
That's true. There's a certain level of familiarity, a very certain, a very particular status quo has been set up. I really can't say status quo when it comes to this show because it does throw a lot of different wild new shit at you. But I mean, as all wrestling does, it's kind of hard to develop a full status quo on wrestling. But the serialized, almost soap opera-esque format of this show allows some semblance of a status quo to be established in that Dario's an evil motherfucker, and here are XYZ main machinations he's got going on, and all the rest is kind of popping off behind that. So we have these stories that we have a familiarity with, and they're taking all this new shit that's being added on top of these familiar stories and really seamlessly weaving new things into those pre-existing stories and stacking other new shit completely unrelated on top of that. I think that's probably a good way of looking at it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start with episode 25. We open with Dario having the backstage with the crew, who greatest opening line of him saying, do you know what a layup is?
I love hearing Dario say English idiosyncrasies. He seems like he just revels so much in saying those phrases. He's like, yeah, do you know what a layup is? And then he later says, a gimme, if you will. And I love how he says, a gimme. How you say it's so delightful. I love hearing him say shit like that. It's so whimsical. I love it.
Of course. Point being, he is very pissed at the crew because in his mind,
you fucked that up.
He gave him the easiest win he could have gotten. They couldn't have had an easier win possible. The Fun and Dysfunctional had just had a match. One of them is injured.
Yep.
They don't get along. How hard could this have been? And then they didn't win anyway. So he's like, he's pissed. And so he brings them backstage to the cage. And we get the reveal that I have had to carefully weave my way around talking about this whole time. That Matanza isn't just some monster that Dario's keeping back in a cage to threaten people with, as he does with the crew. Matanza is Dario's brother. It is Matanza Cueto.
I can't remember. Have they said Matanza up to this point?
Yes. Black Lotus is definitely called him
Matanza. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah, Matanza is apparently Dario's brother. Okay.
But very soap opera twist, if you know that telenovela twist idea here of like,
I was thinking
the big scary dude is my brother.
I was thinking Lovecraft shit of the parents gave birth to one kid and he was just, fucking normal. And they gave birth to a second kid and he was some unholy abomination.
I would absolutely keep that thought in mind and keep watching. I'll put it like that. I don't want to confirm or deny anything, but also keep that idea in your head a little bit.
Wait, I've seen a picture of Matanza. He just looks like a normal big boy. What the fuck?
Well, that's what he looks like in the ring. It says nothing of his backstory. And who he is. But
damn,
back to the point.
Look at David just keeping predicting things randomly. Why am I so fucking good?
But back to the point, Dario says, his brother's not as forgiving as he is. And if the crew fails Dario again, he's going to throw them in the cage with Matanza.
Yeah.
And of course, the implication is that they're going to fucking die.
They will become unalived real quick.
But then we move on from that to the first match of the evening, Phoenix versus Killshot.
Hey, Phoenix, it's really great to see her arm fully intact.
Yeah, to date our show is that we are filming this about a week or so since Phoenix's a severe dislocation of his arm on AEW Dynamite. And so it's kind of wild for us to be like, oh, hey, Phoenix, how you doing, buddy?
How's your arms? I got a real sheepish feeling when I saw him. I'm like, man, you're going to have a real bad one about 7 years from now.
Yeah, gonna be great.
Oh,
but
Christ.
Phoenix is here. He's still kind of reveling in his newfound confidence and strength from beating Muertes. and he's facing Killshot. This is Killshot's first singles match in the Temple.
Mm-hmm.
A chance for Killshot to show off what he can do.
Yeah, and he's a good show-offy boy. I quite like him.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to shout out commentary pointing out the greater Phoenix level of confidence thing, because I don't think I would have fully noticed that had they not, but as soon as they said it, I picked up on, yeah, he does have a certain level of confidence. Because for me, we haven't really seen Phoenix on LU since he beat Mil Muertes, and in the meantime, I've been watching a fuck ton of AEW where he is one half of the Lucha Bros and is dominant as fuck the whole time. So when I saw him fighting tonight, I was like, oh yeah, this is Phoenix's usual MO. But I kind of realized there was a time when he was still confident in ring. Clearly, he still was quite had a lot of ability in ring, but he seems to have a certain level of swagger about him now, a certain groundedness almost. There's a lack of freneticism to his fighting. Maybe.
Yeah, dude's really hitting his stride and putting all the pieces together, so to speak.
Yeah, so that actually was a really cool time. And we saw a really cool example of just how confident and grounded Phoenix has become, in that there was this interesting spot, and I don't entirely know what was going on, but there was this interesting spot partway through the match where Killshot had wound up on the outside of the ring, and Phoenix was coming over to do a move through the ropes, and he started to do the move through the top of the rope, and I think realized he was about to do some miscalculation, get himself hurt, and he fucking caught himself mid-move, reversed it, and did it between the two middle ropes. And that, I thought, was a really, really cool spot. And if that was
I know what you mean.
A great way to show off his newfound competency and ability and strength and confidence in ring.
Oh, absolutely. God, was
that an
crazy.
intentional spot, do you think?
I mean, I don't know how much they plan this idea of like, oh, he's super confident now, but like definitely like the fake out over the top, spin around the through the ropes bit shtick he does that a lot. That was definitely like the most like complicated version of that I've ever seen. It looked really cool.
And he seemed so in control was the thing. That was the impressive part. He was really in control of himself, his body. That was what really sold that for me. Of Phoenix is at a whole new level now.
Oh yeah, Phoenix's body control in general is just insane.
I mean, of course, both him and Penta, but regardless, here it really got a chance to shine, and commentary did a great little job highlighting that. So that was a really cool effect. I also loved the line. I think it was from Striker, or no, not Striker. It was from, I think it was Vamp. Vamp has been just progressively wilding out more and more recently. His color commentary just keeps getting more and more colorful by the episode. He said something about the name Killshot applies accuracy and finality, and I was
that was Striker.
Was that Striker? Striker, what the fuck was that?
That's Striker being Striker, making everything sound more poetic than it is.
Once again, the man with the way with words, the funerary box.
The funerary box, indeed.
Yeah. God damn. You know, I should have known.
Tonight's line gets 3 out of 5 funerary boxes.
Is that's how we got to rate matches from now on? How many funerary boxes out of 5?
Yep. Anyway, Killshot kind of got a chance to show off a little more what he can do. It was a nice little back and forth between two very flippy, high fly boys.
Indeed, but at the end of the day, of course, Phoenix is the one to get put over.
Yeah.
Killshot still got to earn those stripes, baby.
Yeah, it's the most not plot relevant. It's the most filler match of the episodes.
Easy.
But still a fun time.
Yeah. I would, I enjoyed it. Great way to kick things off. Nice and easing, baby. You know how we do.
Ease into the drama later in the night, which we start up with in the next scene where we are in the bathroom again, and fucking Dario confronts Drago in the bathroom again.
Which, look, I'm gonna weird champ Dario for this again, because you got a weird thing for wanting to take a piss and then have these deep conversations with Drago, or I guess monologues at Drago. But also, I got a weird champ Drago a little bit. Drago, why the fuck have you made the underground bathroom your main hideout? Like, I know you're the dragon from hell, but really, you're so desperate to get a little bit closer, just marginally closer to the heat of the underworld, that you'll just stick around in the bathroom the whole time.
That is the theory I'm going with.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe he also, the smell of human shit is the closest he can get to the smell of constant brimstone. I'm just fucking spitballing. Either way, little weird. Please find a slightly or classier place to stay, buddy. Of course. Just a suggestion. You know, it's not always a great look.
Yeah, but Dario is here to kind of remind Drago of the stakes and say, you know, he's a survivor, that he is the last of his kind, and he's
his kind being dragons.
Being dragons, yes. Which,
we really need to highlight this. His kind being dragons.
Dragons. And I brought this up to David while we were watching, and I feel like I have to bring it up here. It's kind of weird to me. I've just now realized this, is that, like, Drago's backstory is that he is the last of the dragons from hell. They all existed, and then they all died out, except for one guy who figured out how to manifest himself into a human form, and it's Drago. And by the way, absolutely everybody takes for granted that this is just a thing that happened in world history.
Wait, hold up. You are just now noticing how weird this is.
I've always thought it was weird, like, haha, what a funny and weird and very, like, complicated backstory that can only exist on Lucha Underground. What I'm just now realizing is that everybody else in the world, in this universe, just kind of takes for granted that, like, fucking dragons existed, and there's one left alive. I've never really thought through the implications of his backstory, David.
Yeah, see, this is very funny to me, because how you just explained his backstory is almost fucking verbatim how you explained his backstory to me the very first time we watched Lucha Underground, and I was like, huh, that's really fucking weird, and you just kind of fucking hand-waved that away. So how are you just now catching up to the what the fuck factor of all of this? Because your explanation has not changed remotely.
The reason, okay, the thing that made me think about this differently, fair, because it's fair point, is hearing Dario say it. Like, it's one thing that we have this vignette with a stock footage of a dragon,
and a
narrator explaining it. It's another thing for another character in universe to remind Drago of his background. Someone else gave Drago an as you know of his backstory, and I'm like, wait, there are other people in the universe who know about the dragon thing, and they just don't acknowledge how crazy that is.
Yeah, well, this is the same show where we have a straight up zombie guy, and everyone's just kind of like, yeah, he exists.
I guess, whatever. I've gotten over my existential crisis about Drago, about this universe, and what the fuck the history.
Yeah, no, but the fact that they were like, they existed and then just kind of died out all except for one. Yep, still fucking weird.
And I absolutely would love to know more about that. They're not going to ever say it, because why would they? It's not relevant to this fucking wrestling show. I just want to know. But I want to know.
I want to know how, like, that impacted history. Mm-hmm. If it's just not, if it's not even actually making a tangible difference, because dragons that went extinct are effectively just the same as fucking dinosaurs that went extinct, or if it's actually had any effect on how humans process lore, mythology, history, if it had any, like, anthropological implications, evolutionary implications. There is now at least one dragon who can be in human form, who it's possible for that person to maybe enter the gene pool? Is that going to affect anything? Like, I want to know. I want to go real annoyingly deep with this lore.
I want the Lucha Underground spinoff that is just about the dragon lore stuff.
Yeah, that specifically.
Yes. Anyway, moving on. We go back. We're in the locker room now, and Dario approaches Prince Puma, who is sitting there with his belt. And of course, Dario narrates at him too, because like Drago, Puma doesn't talk. But Dario's basically like, I can see that you're conflicted about potentially ending a man's career tonight.
Which I have to quickly point out, real bold of Dario to assume that if you get kicked out of his, again, really need to emphasize this, illegal underground fight club, that your entire career is over. Like that has the ability to blacklist you from all of pro wrestling.
Very narcissistic is Dario.
I mean, on brand for him. I just find it a very funny assumption to make. Although everyone else seems to take that for granted too. So I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't.
Maybe in this universe, professional wrestling is kind of fallen apart, except for this fun fucking fight club.
So
and AAA.
I need a second.
AAA exists, and Lucha Underground exists, and nothing else.
See, that implies to me some sort of post-apocalyptic landscape, or something. Some sort of crisis has happened to affect the economy in such a way that pro wrestling now works like that. And now I think I need a second spin-off that's like this weird post-cataclysmic political thriller about the economic implications of the pro wrestling universe.
And the thing is, considering everything that lore-wise that does exist in this show, and I know will exist in this show, I totally buy into this post-apocalypse theory.
But the problem is, we get establishing shots for fucking days of outer LA, and it looks fine. So it's not like
maybe it's only LA. Maybe LA quarantined, and they're all this left.
Oh God, you know what? That's actually entirely possible. You may have a point there.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this. So Dario, he said, yeah, you seem conflicted, but get over it. Suck it up, Buttercup, because only weak-willed men give a shit about feelings like that. Warriors don't care, only care about the win, and I need a warrior to be my champion.
Lucha Underground belts don't care about your feelings.
Dario Cueto would have called him a beta cuck if that was the thing in 2015.
Oh my God. What are you? Some kind of beta cuck? Oh, that would be a great little idiosyncrasy to hear Dario Cueto use. Oh man.
Indeed it would. But he leaves Puma to stew in his thoughts about potentially ending a man's career.
He leaves 5 steps away to let Puma stew in his thoughts, I might add.
And here comes Hernandez to immediately start trying to say some shit.
As the kids these days say, mask off.
Mm-hmm. Went full mask. Hernandez went full mask off in this episode.
He really did. Jesus.
He opens with, Dario is trying to talk to him about what happened last week. Yeah. And Hernandez straight up is like, I don't care about Puma. And they cut to a dramatic shot of Puma to show him reacting to that, hearing that line. Because remember, this is happening 5 feet away. Prince Puma hears this entire conversation.
Yeah, and the cinematography almost frames this as if it's Puma in accidental hiding, almost overhearing a conversation he shouldn't. But Dario clearly knows that he's within earshot of Puma. We even see a shot at the very end of this conversation where he kind of looks back over his shoulder and is like, yeah, fuck you, Puma. And Hernandez has to know. Hernandez has to have heard that Dario was talking to Puma right fucking there. So they're just having this conversation, plotting against Puma, basically, with Puma 5 feet away. And it's like, this is happening. Puma knows why are we treating this as some sort of big dramatic, he wasn't supposed to hear this conversation.
That's how little Hernandez gives a fuck.
Yeah. Look, cinematography gives a lot of a fuck, okay? I don't know why. They don't seem to be on the same page with how Dario and Hernandez are handling this combo.
Yeah. So eventually Hernandez tries to push to get a title opportunity. And oh no, that's not happens. What happens is that Hernandez takes offense to the triple threat match they announced earlier in the night. Cuerno versus Cage versus Hernandez, because they explained that Cage and Cuerno both feel like Hernandez cheated them and they want revenge. And Hernandez is like, oh, this is going to be a 2-on-1, bro. Yeah. That's a little unfair. And Dario's like, don't worry. All right, I'll make sure to fix that. It's now a number one contenders match. There, everybody has something to fight for.
Yes. I have to say real quick, this is the version of booking your show in the middle of your show that I actually really like, because we still clearly see that matches are planned and that there's clearly spots that are dedicated to specific purposes. Just parameters get defined or changed or shit. That I really like. And as part of all the evil puppet master's plan, I can get on board with this version of not everything is totally pre-planned in kayfabe.
Sure.
Good job, Lucha Underground, for fucking cracking that formula. You done great. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. So Hernandez is satisfied, but now Prince Puma's like, what the fuck? The guy I'm supposed to be friends with via Konnan is trying to take my title.
I mean, they clearly haven't gotten along. I feel like Puma's not even fully surprised by this. He's like, oh, what the fuck? He's
like, I just kind of didn't expect him to be so blatant about it, to be honest.
Yeah, this was a speedy heel turn, dude. Hernandez came in. He was this good boy, supposedly, and then it all just fell apart real quick.
Yeah. But then our next match is the return of the Jobbers.
Boys are back.
Yes, we had Famous B versus Ricky Mandel versus Vinny Massaro versus Hernandez, and the commentary does explicitly call out that these are all the men that Pentagon Juniors broke their arms.
Look, we're one step closer to one of my past accidental predictions that was originally a joke. The anti-Pentagon revolution of the Arm Boys is coming. Do you hear the people sing?
But unfortunately, the match doesn't really happen because immediately Tejano shows up and beats all their asses.
Yeah. Right on cue, we get interference from Tejano.
Yep.
Checks notes. Tejano. Isn't that supposed to be why is Tejano? Okay.
Yeah. Pentagon was noticeably absent this series of episodes, stewing over his wounds of losing to Sexy Star, I presume.
Yeah. He probably is not happy about losing to a female.
Yep. And not getting to break her arm.
Oh, extra true. You know what? I want to believe that he's a progressive arm breaker. He doesn't care the gender or identity of the person whose arm he breaks. He just wants damn arms.
Well, yeah, we already knew that. He tried to break Melissa's arm.
This is true. He doesn't take offense to getting beaten by a woman. He takes offense to the fact that he could not claim the arm for the arm god.
Yeah, wins and losses. What do those matter in comparison to arm sacrifices?
All hail the arm god.
Anyway, Tejano, he kicks all the jobbers' asses and he gets a mic and he's like, I don't know who this fucking dude who attacked me last week was, but he needs to get his ass back here right now. So I can kick his ass.
Something I noticed in this episode specifically is how rare in-ring mic promos are on this show. They are exceedingly rare. It was really funny because I noticed that, and then Tejano got on mic. I'm like, well, okay, there's one.
Yeah, they don't do them very
those
often.
Happen very rarely. I've realized. The format of this show is just so interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, most common is usually Pentagon Jr. having something to say before his matches recently. But other than that, most people do not have in-ring promos very often.
Yeah. Well, that's soap opera form for you, baby.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We got a lot of like scenes in this episode. We did.
Episode 25 was very story heavy.
I liked it. I liked having all these little dialogue sequences. Which
I did as well.
One is real.
Oh, I was so hyped.
Austin got really excited about this one, guys. I'm kind of worried. I'm a little concerned.
I love this guy. we're hanging out outside of the temple. Dario's doing something. I don't know what he was doing, conducting business
he's on
his
a phone call with someone.
His phone call or whatever. And he gets approached by this random dude in an Aztec and a bright yellow shirt that says Aztec Pride. And he introduces himself as Marty the Moth Martinez.
That's such a wild name, dude.
I fucking love this dude. But he is a big Lucha Underground fan. He's a big fan. He's a believer in the temple. But, he's got Aztec history in his tribes in his blood. His moth is his spirit. The moth is his spirit animal.
That was such a great line. He said it so sincerely, too. Not a hint of irony. That man is proud of his spirit animal, moth.
Yep. So he's like, I want a shot of the temple, man. I can do it. I got the moves. And Dario's like, LOL, no, you fuck off.
Dario, once again, proving that my temple is open to anybody is a goddamn lie. Dario, once again, loving the butt because this temple is open to anybody. But
no.
But not you. Bye-bye.
You would just get squashed like a moth.
Like a moth. Dude, I love Dario. He's such a sinister dude. I love how over the top evil he is. It's so great, so smarmy, so awful. I love this character so much, man.
He is fantastic. So he is like, go be a fan. Go have fun. Thanks for the support. You're not wrestling. And he shuts the gate on him. And Marty's trying to get back in. And so that we move into our next match, King Cuerno versus Cage versus Hernandez in a number 1 contenders match.
Yep. We get two of the big bad boys and one soon to be big bad boy.
My biggest note off of this match is it felt really short.
Well, yeah. Part of that was for a thing later.
But they basically everybody's hitting their greatest hits. I
mean, I mentioned this last time. I mentioned this last time too, but especially now, it was thrown into really stark contrast. It's really wild to see Hernandez having such little problem with former mega supervillains Cage and King Cuerno. Mm-hmm. I used to get this visceral sense of dread anytime either of them got in ring, and I still do a little bit, but they are not as horrifyingly impossible to beat as they once were. And Hernandez seems able to really toss them around real easy, which is wild too, because Hernandez ain't got to do anything fancy in order to do that. He is a really straightforward fighter. His fighting style is so fascinating to watch because he does all of this stuff with ease, and he doesn't add any fancy flair. He just kind of does them, and that's it. And he's able to toss people around like it's nobody's business.
He shows absolutely no intensity ever. He's just so casual about everything.
No intensity. He does just the way he's so physically fascinating because he's a really big dude, but he's also agile as hell, and he's kind of super lanky too and tall, and he just kind of casually possesses the strength to do whatever he wants. He's really fascinating to watch in ring. I really love watching him. He's really physically unique.
Yeah, and so the match eventually has a distraction as Marty the Moth comes into the ring and is like, Marty the Moth is here, and then everyone kicks his ass.
Yeah, everyone fucks him up, and he leaves real angry. Which I gotta say, after last week, have to file a complaint about this deeply unrealistic depiction of what it's like when a fan jumps into the ring. That man should have been mobbed by at least 3 dudes in black and on security. The supposed armed security guards that the temple has.
I suppose they tried to establish they had armed security, but
remember when they tried to establish that? Remember?
I sadly do.
I sure do. What the hell happened?
Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it?
Yeah, where are those guys, and why the hell weren't they mobbing Marty the Moth as soon as he jumped in ring?
Well, they've been really off their ball recently between Daivari and Marty.
That's at least Daivari kind of has some legitimate claim, as he is a well-established wrestler, and I'm sure a lot of companies would be like, yeah, you want to hop in at random? Fucking sure, why not? But Marty is just some dude right now.
That's fair.
Security.
But in the chaos of Marty's interference, Hernandez is able to pin King Cuerno and win the match. So, oops, Hernandez is #1 contender now.
For now. But also, I love how much Hernandez loves to just gloat and clown on people in ring. He just struts around and does all these goofy victory lap things. It's like Hulk Hogan, but they're actually self-aware about what a douchebag he is.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, I quite enjoy this version of the super macho, super full of himself guy who just thinks he's entitled to everything, because they're actually lampshades the fact that that's kind of fucking obnoxious.
Yep. So then we get a sit-down interview with Fun and Dysfunctional, as we've taken to calling him on this show now. Evilise, Son of Havoc, and Angelico, the new Trios champions.
Dude, poor Vamp keeps getting stuck doing these weird, awkward interview spots. Like, he had one good one with Cage, but he had the one with Puma and Konnan where he kept telling Konnan off, and here he's just having to sit here watching Fun and Dysfunctional all bicker amongst themselves for 3 minutes.
Yes, unfortunately, they're, in I guess, realistic fashion, you can't, the story doesn't just end and they were happily ever after. And now that the adrenaline of the way my interpretation of it is, now once the adrenaline of the tournament is all worn off, like now that everything is settled down and they're champions, they're right back to it.
Yeah, and to be fair, they're self-aware about that, and I do appreciate this element of realism of all our problems are not solved by winning a shiny gold big belt. I do quite like that as a storytelling device of actually carrying some of that stuff forward past the belt.
Yeah,
I wish that kind of happened more sometimes in wrestling, honestly.
I agree, but I guess you could argue that progress has been made because they can, amicably sit next to each other and not like immediately start throwing hands or whatever.
Yeah,
but they still don't really get along too well.
And this show, there's one thing that's really bothering me here, and it's really exemplified by Vamp, but the writing, once you kind of notice it in Vamp, it becomes very plainly obvious in the writing, because Vamp's a wild dude, weird dude. He strikes me as having a bit of a complex, if you will, about women. Whether he wants to white knight for poor defenseless Melissa Santos very performatively, or he is constantly bitching about how much he hates Evilise. And
it's real bad.
She's the real problem in this group. It gets kind of weird. And can we not also realize that very clearly Angelico and Son of Havoc also have dysfunctional aspects to them that contribute to this, to the problems in this to particular team?
Yeah, they all clearly have issues that cause them to bicker with each other. It's not just Evilise. And Vampiro's commentary in particular tries to blame her specifically, and it's like, this is unfortunate.
Yeah, but the problem is the writing also kind of skews that way sometimes too. Like,
I think we'll get to that in the next tag. We'll get
to that. No, I guess I'll finish diatribing about that when we get there. But yeah, every time I'm reminded about just some of Vampiro's quirks. When it comes to how he forms his opinions about things is yikes.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah. He strikes me as an interesting guy.
Yeah. But then we move on to the main event of the first episode. Drago versus Puma for the Lucha Underground Championship. If Drago loses, he is banned
Drago's wearing wet red instead of his usual blue to show he means serious business.
It looks really cool though. I like it.
I really like the change up in his outfit. What a great climax costume, if you will. Yeah. And I thought it was kind of fun too that his colors kind of matched Puma's for this.
They did. Everyone wearing red orange.
Yeah, I don't entirely know if that's like meant to symbolize anything or not, but it's cool at least.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, him and Puma comes out with Konnan. I will say for the first time we get to really hear Konnan's commentary a lot.
Yeah, this match focuses a weird amount on Konnan's sideline coaching of Puma, and I do not entirely know why.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be that he fucks something up for Puma, or it causes some further break in their relationship. But we just kind of focus it on it a lot, and Vamp keeps talking about how annoying Konnan is.
Yeah, as I told David, I'm kind of ready for me to not have to hear that anymore.
Yeah,
Vampiro kind of goes overboard on it, like
on the
concept.
Yeah, which, like, I'd be fine with if we were doing any damn thing with that actual concept thus far. But they kind of dropped it. I want to believe that they'll come back to it at some point, like, readdress it. But for now, like, they had the Konnan comes back thing, and it made it look like he was going to do a full heel turn. But now that just kind of, that part of the story is kind of spinning its wheels a little bit.
That part of the story is being moved to Hernandez in particular.
Yeah, it's just kind of getting offloaded onto him, and I don't know. It's weird. It's like it feels like they're trying to signal at something happening, but just the show seems to refuse to actually do anything with that other than just be like, just really, really highlight it, but then not ever acknowledge it. What?
No, I agree. It's kind of weird, but anyway, as for the match itself, it's good. It's what you'd expect from Puma and Drago. If I may make a critique,
you may,
is that I think it's a relatively minor one, but like because they set up this notion that Puma is kind of conflicted about having to end a man's career tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think they did a very good job of putting that across in the actual match. Puma doesn't really act conflicted until the very end, which is easily interpreted as being for a completely different reason, which we'll get to when we talk about the ending. But I would have liked to have seen Puma show a little bit more hesitation in like hitting his big moves and pinning off of them, as if he has to kind of for a split second think about like, if this wins, then a man is gonna be done.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be on my hands.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think they did a decent job at the end of the match, highlighting that in some little ways. Like at the very end, we get that Puma heeding Dario's words about a champion is ruthless or whatever. But yeah, I really would have liked to see that in-ring storytelling be a little bit stronger. It's because without that, it just kind of goes as a straightforward match up until we get some shenanigans compliments of Hernandez, who shows up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the first they do they do a spot where Puma accidentally knocks Drago into the referee, and that plus Konnan deciding to interfere gives Hernandez the opportunity to go strutting on out. And they do do an interesting thing with Hernandez here in that he jumps in the ring, and you got Puma in between Drago and Hernandez. And Hernandez just fucking goes for it. And Puma has to duck out of the way. And Hernandez hits Drago. And once that all kind of settles, Konnan's like, take advantage of this opportunity and win the match. And Puma has this show. This time you can see Puma be like, I don't really want to win like this.
Yeah.
But fine, I will. And so he hits the move for the win. And then afterwards, he's visibly pissed, and he's really pissed that Hernandez tries to also kind of like help celebrate the win. He's like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you almost hit me. And they kind of compound on this in the next episode, but they kind of sell the idea of like, we don't really know who Hernandez was trying to hit. And Puma definitely doesn't trust that Hernandez wasn't trying to hit him. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of accidentally helped him win the match.
I will say, this is one of those cases where, you and I meme a lot about shenanigans on this show. I will say, this is one of those cases where some sort of fucky interference, I think, actually was really dramatically affecting. Like, as much as they really didn't do a great job at highlighting the struggle during most of the match, I thought once Hernandez got involved and things started getting screwy. Well, first of all, there's the accidental knocking out of the ref where Puma, or where Drago would have gotten the pin on Puma, but
I forgot to mention that too. Is that like Drago takes advantage of the situation and hits his move, and he was gonna win a visual pinfall, as they say, but nobody was there to count, and so not it.
Nope. But so we start with that, and that's kind of this heartbreaking moment of, oh God, this was Drago's chance, and now he's done. And then Hernandez gets involved and knocks Drago out, and it's a completely unclean finish to Drago's career. There is no honor in this loss, because by all means Drago should have gotten the loss, but everything kind of went wrong behind the scenes enough that he just got screwed out of it. And I will give them credit for making shenanigan spots like that really emotionally affecting, dramatically affecting for the ultimate plot of this match. I thought that at the end, those moments were really well done and kind of heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, but regardless,
Puma even ends up de facto heel a little bit because of that, and people almost seem to be booing him for a brief moment.
Yeah, I agree. But regardless of how it happens, is Puma does get the win, and he's still the champion, and Drago is banned.
Drago is banned from the temple.
And Puma quickly after the match kind of apologizes to Drago, or at least that is what is said he did. Yeah. But there's no reason to believe he didn't do that. Yeah. And Drago is kind of allowed to have a final farewell, and the crowd chants like, thank you, Drago, and all that stuff. They really play it as if like he's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
Well, they super duper play that when they cut to outside the temple later. And
shouts out to the credits fake out. I wasn't ready for that because they roll the credits on. I don't think we ever mentioned it, but they roll credits on as the episode ends, and like they start doing that as Drago is walking out of the temple, and then suddenly we cut to a new scene.
Yep. So that was a cool effect. Yep.
Yeah, and so Dario's just kind of standing out there, presumably just waiting for Drago to leave so he can be like, fuck off. And Drago walks up to him, and we finally hear him speak as he says, you haven't seen the last of me, or I'll be back. And he leaves, and we get the first ever Drago flying off as a dragon effect.
Which is just, he walks into a warehouse, and then there's a giant fireball from within the warehouse.
Yeah, and Dario looks up as if he's seeing a dragon.
Which, I feel like I should share what my initial interpretation of this scene was.
I very much would like you to.
I made a joke while we were watching about how what's really gonna happen is Drago's gonna lose and Dario's gonna fucking take him back, pull out a Glock, and put him down like Old Yeller. And Drago walks up to Dario and sneers. I think it was something to the effect of, "Our paths will cross again."
That's what he said.
Something like that. And he walks into the warehouse, and it was this really tense moment, and Dario kind of turns to follow a little bit as to watch Drago as he walks in. He has this really sinister, tense look, and I see this fire explode out from the warehouse, and I think for a brief moment that Dario has blown up the warehouse with Drago inside. I legitimately thought they were going there, and honestly, I would not be remotely surprised if the show had gone there. If they just
I wouldn't have either
by blowing him up.
I wouldn't have either, but me being the knockout helps in this situation because I've seen this. This isn't the last time they do this, so I knew this is he's flying off as a dragon.
It's
effect.
Such a goofy effect.
It is. It's so
like that.
It's very bad because it's very obviously fake. It's literally just a fireball.
Another one of those moments where you can tell, oh yeah, this was a Robert Rodriguez production, wasn't it?
Right. This is a show run on a relatively smaller budget.
String budget DIY special effects.
Yeah, it's just a fucking fireball. They don't have anything else. But that is how episode 25 ends. A somber note to end on.
Indeed.
But we move on then to episode 26, where Dario is in his office, and I want to point out, as you talked about, like, kind of the dynamics at play of the booking your show in the middle of the show situation, and how Dario, we avoid that because we see that Dario does put these matches together ahead of time.
Yeah.
He is literally sitting in his office putting matches together during this scene. He's got little cutouts of everybody's names, and he's gonna glue them in his book or something.
Yeah, that's what I love about this. Is it's not like he doesn't have a board. He doesn't write them in. He doesn't type up a freaking spreadsheet. He literally takes paper cutouts of everybody's names and glues them on kind of what looks like a big paper map. It's I love he's so goofy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's in the process of booking the show, and in walk frickin' frack Johnny Mundo and Alberto Patron.
Yep, and they're both like, we think we deserve a shot at the Lucha Underground Championship, actually. Mm-hmm. And Dario agrees, but he's also like, we there's a lot of good contenders here. Win some matches. And they are both like, but you said it yourself. You both consider us the best in the business, which is the name of the episode 26 title drop. And drop. They both say like, well, we're more deserving than frickin' Hernandez.
Yeah.
And so Dario's like, you know what? Why not I give you a chance to prove it? Is that one of you will face Hernandez for the number one contendership. And to decide that tonight, it will be Alberto Patron. He pulls up the little paper cutouts and puts them in front of them for the camera.
So small and flimsy. Dario, what are you doing?
Versus Johnny Mundo tonight in the main event. So the main event of tonight, Johnny Mundo versus Alberto Patron. Winner gets to face Hernandez in the number one contenders match.
Contendershipception. You get to become you get to choose top contender for the top contendership.
We have a real system in place here.
It's contenders all the way down, motherfucker.
Yep. So then we cut then to our first match of the night, where the Crew, who is looking for that revenge, versus the Fun and Dysfunctional. However, it is not a trios match. It is a regular 2v2 tag match, as Ivelisse is still injured. Her foot she is still in a cast. She is unable to wrestle, and so it is Son of Havoc and Angelico versus Cortez Castro and Mr. Cisco.
Yes. And clearly we see that little improvements have been made in the team dynamic of Fun and Dysfunctional. For example, instead of smacking each other across the face to tag in, they'll just casually 5-star each other to tag in. Progress.
I hit him in the back. It's fine. We're doing better.
It counts. It counts. It works, and it's better than fucking backhanding Son of Havoc.
Yeah, so that's really the story of the match here, is that Fun and Dysfunctional are not doing great together
The
right now.
dysfunctional part of their name is really shining through tonight.
Yeah, Son of Havoc and Angelico aren't really on the same page, and to make matters worse, is Evalise's worst tendencies are coming back out as she spends the whole match nagging them from the sidelines.
Yeah, here's the part of the episode where David finishes his diatribe of this show really seems to want to agree with Vamp that actually Evilise is the cause of most of the problems on this tag team.
Yeah, she is a super bitch.
She's such a bitch. Oh, why is Evilise such a bitch? Oh, she's such an evil bitch. Woe is me. Guys, there are 3 members of this tag team. It takes 3 to tango. Shut up, I'm workshopping
Sort of.
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out the line in my notes that says Vamp hates Evilise so much that he forgot the seats are free.
Oh yes, he complains of what in the middle, because Evilise sets herself up in the front row where the fans are, and so at one point Vampiro complains that everybody here paid for those seats. Now Evilise is making people move to make room for her, and it's like, Vampiro, there were no paid attendance to these shows. Everyone got in free. Nobody paid for these seats.
Nobody paid. He's just looking for every excuse he can to hate Evilise. On brand.
Yep.
Shut up, Vamp.
Shut up, Vampiro.
Hey, oh god, oh no. The new era is coming. Oh no. Getting tired of Vampiro's shit. Anyway, but yeah.
So the crew get the win because
Waka Waka.
The fun Dysfunctional can't get it together. So you'd think that will put them in line for another shot at the trios titles as soon as possible.
Yep.
We then cut to Dario in the office, and he is having a drink ski in the middle of the day with Daivari. And as far as immediate character establishing moments go, I feel like there's few better than this one, where Dario is trying to do his usual spiel of like talking up the people who come into his office. So he's like, I'm surprised that you decided to fight Tejano, and you come from a wealthy family who owns much real estate all over Los Angeles. And the entire time, Daivari is just sitting on his phone and texting away.
These fucking millennials!
Fucking millennial Daivari indeed.
R/phones are bad.
Indeed. 100%. And Dario is just so pissed off. Clearly pissed off, but he can't say it.
He's really annoyed. Yep.
You can see it in his eyes that he's so mad about this. But yes, this does blatantly establish Daivari as a rich asshole character.
Yeah,
that is his character here in Lucha Underground.
I've seen my fair share of rich asshole characters in wrestling. He is already by far my favorite.
He does eventually answer Dario's inquiry of like, why are you here, bro? You are rich. You don't need to be here.
Yeah.
And his answer is like, you like watching violence. I like inflicting violence.
Oh, he calls Dario the fuck out. It's great.
And so Dario's like, well, how about you get a chance to inflict some violence right now against Tejano?
Yeah,
Have fun
that's what he came
there.
here for. Yeah, and Dario says this as if he's catching Daivari, like he has these like, all right, let's see how much violence you can. Like he almost seems like he doubts him, and that
he very much assumes that Daivari is going to be a pushover in front of an actual fighter.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Yeah, not quite how that went. But before that, we have another confrontation in the locker room as Team Konnan is here together, and it's not going great.
No. Hernandez and Puma, well, Hernandez and Konnan as a proxy for Puma are fighting about what happened last time. Konnan's like, what the fuck, bro? And Hernandez is like, what the fuck, bro? And every time Puma's about to get up and try to give Hernandez a piece of his mind, of course, Konnan's got to put the cane across the chest. Tranquilo. Yeah, for some reason, tranquilo seems to be the magic word of he's able to stop these two from coming to blows just by saying tranquilo.
Well, it is him saying calm down. It is.
Well, I know tranquilo means calm down. I just find it funny they're actually fucking listening to him.
Like, tranquilo.
Yeah.
But eventually Dario comes and walks in. He inserts
with
himself
the opening
because
line of "I love to watch." So Dario voyeur posting for some reason.
Yeah, because Hernandez and Puma were about to come to blows, and Konnan was like, "Hey, we don't want to do this," and Dario's like, "I want you to do it."
I just love him saying, "I love to watch."
Yeah, and so he comes to inform Hernandez that first of all, there's been a bit of a change of plans. That actually you're gonna have to win one more match to be number one contender. You have to face the winner of Alberto El Patron and Johnny Mundo tonight, and clearly Hernandez looks ready to punch him in the face.
Yep.
And Dario's like, whoa. Don't hold our horses. And also is that he hopes that Hernandez and Puma can get on the same page because they have a tag team match tonight against Cage and King Cuerno. Can they coexist? I mean, I feel like you already know the answer.
At the very least, they didn't say the line. I'll take it.
He almost did. He said, "See if you guys can." And I was like, "Coexist."
Say the line, Dario.
Please.
But also, he also kind of assigns Konnan as Peacemaker, which Konnan as Peacemaker is a choice with his past history of shit starting.
I'm sure it'll go great.
I mean, to be fair, we'll get to this, but he does actually play his role sincerely as Peacemaker, and I shockingly end up actually kind of rooting for Konnan here, but okay, we'll get to that.
We will. But first, we have Daivari and Tejano, a match that lasts about 5 seconds, technically speaking. But
also, can we just point out the fact that we opened the match with Daivari freaking chilling on the ropes, drinking a whiskey or something.
That was fucking sweet.
It was incredible, and I was like, who the fuck is this man?
But, they announced Daivari, and Melissa is about to announce Tejano, and then she goes, "Oh shit," and moves out of the way because Tejano is running to the ring, and they immediately start throwing hands.
Daivari freaking pushes Tejano over almost immediately and just starts wailing on him on the floor.
Oh yeah, they're just straight up wailing on each other back and forth. And the match lasts very short because at one point Tejano just knocks the ref over while they're too busy trying to fight each other. Which, oops, DQ. So that's the official match ending. But it doesn't really matter because they just spend the whole time just continuing to throw hands.
Pretty much. But then Daivari leaves the ring and Tejano's like, what the fuck, bro? The end.
Yep. So I assume that we will see more from that in the days and weeks ahead.
Yep.
But the upcoming next, we get the tag team match, King Cuerno and Cage versus Prince Puma and Hernandez.
Oh, yeah.
Which that devolved now, did
that? Oh, yeah. I mean, Konnan tries to play Peacemaker. It starts off okay enough. Hernandez starts as the first legal man for Team Dysfunctional 2.0, and Puma's kind of hesitant to tag in, but he does.
He overall does. And it's overall, about as dysfunctional as the Fun and Dysfunctional was earlier.
Yeah. And Hernandez is kind of being a cheeky kid about it. Like, he's kind of almost acting like, oh, what's the problem? I don't see a problem. Come here, brother. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
we got to be tag partners.
He happily gives up the tag in. It's like, okay, smarmy dick. What's going on here?
Yeah. But then... What was the first thing that he did? Because I know the next thing is on the dive, but I forget the first thing.
He kind of it starts to progress with him encroaching on Puma's move opportunities, basically.
Oh shit! I remember now. So,
he starts to kind of get in the way of Puma doing what he wants to do, and he's like, nah, let me handle this.
Yeah,
and we have Konnan from the Shy just impotently shouting, Hernandez, teamwork! Hernandez has AirPods and he can't hear him. Oh no, oh god.
Oh no. And then at one point, Cage and Cuerno are down on the floor. Mm-hmm. and Puma is setting up to do his dive.
Yep.
And fucking Hernandez just does his stupid strut on the apron in front of Puma.
Yeah.
And blocks Puma's way.
Yeah, he's really starting to get he's really starting to become a true problem here. Oh god. It's so bad. Strut. It's so bad. Oh no.
It's so goofy. But so Puma's like, bro, what are you doing? Yeah. And eventually eventually it's a setup of like Hernandez and Puma get knocked to the floor. Mm-hmm. And King Cuerno is setting up from the arrow from the depths of hell.
Yes.
And this is the real turning point as Hernandez, just throws Puma in front of Cuerno.
Yeah.
To get hit by the arrow.
Yup.
And it's not even an accident. It can't even be construed as an accident.
He just very clearly moves Puma in the way, moves himself out of the way, and just lets it happen, baby.
Yeah, and then eventually Hernandez just picks Puma up and power bombs him into the side of the ring.
Yeah, and then just and this pisses Konnan off. Something fierce. He chases. He does little Benny Hill chase of Hernandez around the ring.
Mm-hmm. But Hernandez, he bouncing. He's out of here.
He just goes.
Yeah, and in the chaos, Cuerno and Cage get the advantage. Cage hits the X Factor on Puma to pin him 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Another loss in a tag team match because of frickin' Hernandez.
Yep, and Hernandez, we see him count the pin with everyone else, and he off to the side, and he just looks so satisfied. He's so happy to see Puma.
My specific notes are Cuerno and Cage win because Hernandez is a stupid asshole.
You stupid asshole. How does it feel to be such a stupid asshole? Stupid asshole.
Yeah, fuck this guy. But so the team Konnan has fallen apart. Hernandez and Puma never really got along, but well, they're definitely never getting along now.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Then we move ahead to our next video package where we return to Black Lotus. Admittedly, not a lot of progression from where we were before.
It's kind of the same thing, just with less.
Yeah, but we do see her. She's attempting to run away and go back to the temple, and Dragon Azteca and his booming feels like it was 80-yard voice.
Yeah, is he dubbed?
I don't know. I don't know if he's dubbed, but it just feels like he's dubbed.
It looks like the lips don't sync either. It's weird. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, he's like, no, you can't leave now. Your parents were defenseless, but you won't be if you stay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not ready. He's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you can beat me, then I'll let you leave. And so she tries to punch him, and he comedically blocks every single hit.
Which she really doesn't try that hard to beat him. She just kind of throws the same punch over and over again, and it's and
he just blocks every fucking time.
It's just taking one hand, just going back.
Yeah,
she really didn't try on that one.
No, she did not. But he beats her, and he's like, "See, you're not ready." And so she's like, "Ugh, fine, I won't leave. I won't run away and go fight Matanza." So, thus far, she is still got to train some more.
Yep. She reluctantly agrees. Wonder if she'll actually make a successful attempt at running away next time.
We will have to see, won't we?
We'll find out.
But then we get to the main event of episode 26, Alberto El Patron versus Johnny Mundo.
Yes. And hell of an interesting match to watch. These two, I really like, again, I said this in the front half, I really like where this rivalry is going, and these two, they've clearly worked together before. Their in-ring chemistry is phenomenal. They do a really good job at playing off each other. It's a hell of a good match overall.
Definitely. It's a match that is about the injuries, I think. Because
dude, all of Mundo's matches are about the injuries. Everyone wants to fuck up his legs. Nobody wants to deal with the leggy boy.
It's very true, but I gotta say, this is the first match in a while I was actually a little afraid somehow, and I already knew he didn't actually get injured during doing this. But like, he has this spot where he falls to the outside and lands through the stairs and breaks the wooden stairs. Yeah, and like and the way he lands, I thought like he broke his leg somehow.
That was such a crazy spot, dude. Holy shit.
Yo, yeah. But it's a back and forth, hard hitting affair. Mundo does a lot of stuff to the El Patron's back, which weirdly Patron wrestles the whole match in the shirt until the very, very end.
Yeah,
but
I noticed that, and I'm like, it must be really funny wrestling Patron while he's wearing a shirt of himself.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Patron catching Mundo in the single most unique spot I have ever seen in my entire fucking life, and that he manages to catch Mundo inside the apron. He like pulls the apron as Mundo's going for like a jump or something, and Mundo just freaking falls down or topples over into it or something, and just disappears into the apron. That's the wildest spot I have ever seen.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. But eventually he hits the Starship Pain. I don't remember what he calls it now. That's his WWE name. He hits his flippy signature move. But El Patron's in the rope. Got his hand on the rope.
Yes.
And then El Patron is able to quickly get Johnny Mundo in an arm bar, in the arm breaker. But
the leggy boy prevails.
Yeah, he's able to stretch
his body over and gets his long ass leg onto the rope from practically the middle of the ring. What?
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Why are his legs so long?
Yeah, but now poor Mundo is 2 limbs down. Yep. And he's fighting, he's trying, but eventually El Patron is able to keep taking advantage of where he's injured right now. And eventually he super kicks him square in the face.
Yep.
And pins him for the 1, the 2, and the 3.
As you do. Also, on the subject of Vampiro wilding out, I really have to highlight here how much Vamp was really feeling his movie references for this match. He talks about which Marvel movie was he going off about?
Striker tries to allude.
Oh, was that Striker?
Yeah, Striker.
God,
Striker is like, you know, this is like superheroes fighting. It's like Captain America and Iron Man, and he tries to defend himself of being like, if that reference, I just saw the movie, which confused me because I was like, I don't think Civil War was out yet, and it wasn't. This took place in 2015, which, it aired in May of 2015, right around when Avengers Age of Ultron would have come out.
Yep.
But it was filmed in February of 2015. So he's referencing a movie that hasn't come out yet. And I was like, dude, Striker, you nerd. But then Vampiro references, what movie would he reference?
Some De Niro movie.
It was a De Niro movie. I don't remember which one.
I don't know.
Hits you in the face. You're not gonna look pretty no more.
Yeah.
And he's like, I hope Johnny Mundo does that to El Patron tonight.
And Stryker's like, okay, fam.
Good reference.
Stryker's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Bro, what are you doing?
These Stryker and Vamp are two men who, by all accounts and technical definitions, can communicate with language properly, but also by all accounts sometimes just don't forget and just kind of use words in their own special way, and neither are entirely sure what the hell the other is talking about.
It's great somehow.
They are very funny.
Yep. But El Patron gets the dub. He will be facing Hernandez in a number 1 contenders match. A little bit of a surprise in that very sense of like you expect a baby face to win the match. But at the same time,
Patron is the baby face here. He's the friggin' cultural champion. Everyone's losing their goddamn minds watching him walk into that ring.
That's true. And if you think about it, the live crowd has seen none of the heels turn stuff.
Well, that's what I realized too.
When he's been shit talking Mundo in the bathroom or whatever.
I wouldn't even be surprised if the crowd was totally cool with that. I would not be remotely surprised. They would be. You know, this crowd is very much a violent. Who's the most violent? That's who we're gonna. This show just cares the least about babyface versus heel half the time. Of all the wrestling shows I've seen, there's so much gray morality here. So much like we have guys that act worse than others, but at the end of the day, everyone's kind of screwing everybody over. Even top babyface champion Prince Puma willingly ended Drago's career. The only unequivocally good person I can think of are like Sexy Star and her kind of periphery, and all the rest is just we're dog eat dog world as orchestrated by Dario Cueto. Sorry about it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but I was gonna say even though that Alberto is a heel as well as Hernandez it also does add more intrigue to the match because both guys have had picked fights with Puma. So the match, in terms of like story narrative, can really go either way as to who's actually gonna win. Whereas Mundo versus Hernandez is probably a little more obvious.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I kind of had the opposite the opposite thought actually. I had an inkling that it was gonna be Patron who got put over, but I also feel like it's very obvious that Hernandez is the one who's gonna get that contendership because he is the one whomst has betrayed Prince Puma. And so
I would definitely say he's the favorite to win either way.
Yeah, and what I was wondering about there would be if Patron would be willing to put over Hernandez or Mundo, basically. And I feel like letting Patron advance further in this contendership section probably, or Patron move forward is the move to make more sense. I don't know. I feel like Hernandez is definitely the fave to win ultimately and go against Puma.
Sure. But that ends the in-ring portion of our program. We do have one more thing to do.
Yeah, they do another credit fake out.
Yeah, we get a spooky scene.
The Rock.
There's candles and darkness, and we see the casket and the Rock, not Dwayne Johnson, the earthquake.
It's about power.
Yeah, the earthquake Rock has come and you have Katrina doing a monologue about how death is the end for some people, but not for you. I didn't write down what name she said, but it's
Pascual Mendoza.
Pascual Mendoza is not his real name, but that is his character's real name.
Wait, everybody, wait! I need to commemorate a gigantic moment that just happened here on this podcast. Blink and you miss it. I knew a name better than Austin. Let's fucking go.
All right, I'll give you credit for that one.
Yeah, baby.
Pascual Mendoza is the in-character real name of Mil Muertes before he becomes... I guess that makes sense. I assume his parents didn't name him 1,000 Deaths. That'd be a little weird.
That would be weirdly prophetic, kind of gauche, and also just, are you guys okay?
Yes, a lot of questions to be had here if that was his real legal name. But
speaking of questions to be asked, though, hey Katrina, why are you licking the corpse of your abusive ex-boyfriend?
Oh, that's exactly how she gets off.
You know what? Fair. Why am I even questioning it?
Anyway, I have talked to David. We talked about this before we went on air here. But yes, Katrina is reviving Mil Muertes. She licks the rock. She licks Mil Muertes and commands that he rise. And he opens his eyes, and Mil Muertes is alive again.
Zombie Muertes
again.
Uno Muertes.
Yes, this is 1,001 deaths now.
Yeah, baby.
So, yes, we have questions about her motivations, and I do not remember how I have an answer in my mind of like, oh yeah, this is why she did it. But I genuinely don't remember if it's a headcanon or if it's something they say specifically on air, or if it's something they imply. I don't remember. So I don't really want to talk about it yet. But we did come to an answer as to why Katrina is like this. And if it seems like we're not going to get an answer, I'll go ahead and bring it up then.
We have a prediction. Let's do this.
Yeah. But yes, that questions will have to be answered then of why Katrina has decided to bring back Mil Muertes.
It's a mystery.
It is a mystery, and I do love those.
We do good wrestling mystery.
So yeah, that covers Lucha Underground Season 1, Episode 25-26. Again, it's a little bit of repeating ourselves to keep saying this.
Yeah,
Lucha Underground is really, really good, and I thought this episode was a really good mix of wrestling and story stuff. And
I love the story stuff on this show, dude. Mm-hmm. It's so unique. Give me more always.
So it's so great. And I'm very excited for us to get back to it.
Always.
The next time on the Noobs and Knockouts podcast, we return to 2003. The accusation has now been made that Kane is a murderer. But it's time now to, get the full backstory of Kane. Are you ready for the first big Kane backstory retcon? Because here we are. Next week, we will be returning to Monday Night Raw on 03 to get the backstory of Katie Vick.
I'm ready to make another vain attempt to quit this show.
And it will continue to not work.
Damn it. Oh.
But until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. All right, my friends, my dear, dear friends. Thank you so much for once again joining us on yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts podcast. We are delighted to have you here. If this is if you're a returning listener, viewer, what have you, thank you so much for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, whatever the hell you use sense-wise to consume our show. We hope you've had a great time once again. If you are a first-time listener, viewer, what have you, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you've had a great time. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts podcast like to think that we are welcoming to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you are brand new to the wrestling fandom or a veteran of this whole crazy world, we welcome you into our open arms. We hope you've had a great time. We hope you want to continue to have a great time with us. If you would like to join us in the future and you're not entirely sure how to do so, well, not to worry, my friends. I have you covered. First of all, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe. ring that bell. Make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get a notification every single time when we drop a new episode. Like, comment, add us to your playlist. Check out our playlist. All of the storylines that we follow are organized into nice little playlists that you can check through. So if you want to follow a specific arc, era, whatever, without skipping around a whole lot, bada bing, bada boom, nice and easy there. And if you check out some of the more recent episodes, you can see our beautiful faces up on screen as well as we talk and gesticulate and make dumb faces and what have you, and have an awesome new layout. It's a great time. Check us out on YouTube. If you are a fan of the audio-only experience, there are 3 main places you can find us there. You can find us on 3 of the best places to find your podcast, which are Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Come listen to us, download us, rate us, review us. Once again, shouting out, Spotify now just added ratings to their podcasts. So if you could please give us a listen, give us a 5-star rating, that would be much appreciated. Give us a good review on Google and Apple as well. Just let the algorithms know these guys are pretty cool. I think they're pretty cool. You all should maybe check them out, maybe a little more. It's a pretty great time. I'm just saying, I don't know. So be sure to check us out once again on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. You can also find us, get in more direct contact with us in kind of 3 main places. First of all is our Twitter. Follow us on @Noobs and Knockouts Pod on Twitter. That's Noobs, letter N, Knockouts Pod on Twitter. Check us out there. We engage with the broader wrestling fandom. We engage in discourse. We drop dank memes. We post every single time we put out a new episode, so you guys know what the hell's going on. And, of course, the highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting. My friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Of course. As usual, every single week, the one wrestling show that I definitely watch live every single week, and David too, to be honest, is AEW Dynamite live
and Rampage.
And Rampage, yes. Live Dynamite is live every week on TBS, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a great time. I can obviously personally recommend it. Fantastic show. We're live tweeting that every week, but in addition, we also live tweet WWE, AEW, and Impact Wrestling pay-per-views. So, upcoming, we have first for WWE on January 29th. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to Royal Rumble. It is the Royal Rumble season. Greatest wrestling match stipulation of all time. 30 men or women enter, and winner walks out with a championship match at WrestleMania.
Fuck yeah.
Upcoming, we have the win for the match so far. We have the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches, as well as Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship, Becky Lynch versus Doudrop for the Raw Women's title, Edge and Beth Phoenix versus The Miz and Maurice in a mixed tag team match, the Battle of the Married Couples, and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship.
Buddy, he's fighting someone other than Brock Lesnar.
Thank God.
Holy fucking hallelujah.
It's going to be pretty sweet, I think, looking at that. That is January 29th. You'll be able to watch that on WWE streaming service, connection with Peacock, $4.99 a month with ads, $9.99 a month without ads, or internationally, you'll be able to still use the WWE network. Mm-hmm. Coming up for AEW on March 6th is Revolution. Their next pay-per-view, that's available on traditional pay-per-view outlets, Fight TV, Bleacher Report, and in some select Cinemark theaters. Check that out. But right now, they still even have a couple of special episodes of Dynamite to get through, let alone getting to their next pay-per-view. So we don't have any matches of that set up yet, but I can already see some. I can feel like I can tell where certain things are going on the show, and it's looking really hyped. I'm going to tell you that much. And then, of course, coming out for Impact Wrestling is Rebellion. Their next pay-per-view on April 23rd, available on traditional pay-per-view outlets and Fight TV. Again, that is several months out. Impact and AEW both only do 4 pay-per-views a year as opposed to WWE doing monthly pay-per-views. So it's going to be a while before Rebellion has any real matches on it, but we're going to keep bringing it up every single week to remind you guys. And as they start getting matches on, we'll let you know.
Yeah, baby.
That is where our Twitter game is right now.
Yeah, so be sure to check all that out. It's a great time. We love our live tweeting thing. It's super fun. Austin's great on the when he takes the reins. He's super funny, super insightful. Sometimes I get to take the reins. I like to think it's a pretty good time with me too. Just come hang out with us. I like to think we're a pretty good time to watch wrestling with. So check that out. We also have an email account. You can email us at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and this time, knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us. Tell us what you think of the show, what you like, what you don't like, things you want to see more of on the show, less of, special requests for arcs, eras, companies, one-offs, wrestling adjacent media, whatever. We would love to hear it. Come start discourse with us, yell at us for our hot takes or whatever. Just come say hi. We like to say hi, people. We like people saying hi. We like saying hi back. So be sure to come say hi to us over at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. And finally, you can also find us on Patreon. We are also the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. $1 a month gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.